Colorado High School Activities Association Baseball is on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Tonight from Weld Central High School in Keensburg, it's a Colorado 7 League clash as the visiting Fort Morgan Mustangs take on the Weld Central Rebels. I'm John Beltran. The Mustangs are coming off a disappointing loss to the Brush Bee Diggers nearly a week ago, 7-5 in Brush. They're 5-3 and 14th in the RPI in 4A. Weld Central at 6-3 on the season. Now these teams already played in that final game of the Hampton Inn Classic, with Fort Morgan rallying to win 8-7 in 8 innings. Pitching matchup will pit right-hander Jimmy LaConte for Weld Central and sophomore Jacob Ortega on the hill for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. This will be the first of 7 league contests that we have here on B106 and B106.com, and I believe the only one really that's being played under the lights. Everything else is essentially a day game. And there are fresh lights here at Weld Central High School.
Wait, what's your password?
And if this is anything like that game a couple of weeks ago, or less than 2 weeks ago, it should be pretty entertaining because the Mustangs led in that game, then trailed, and then, as I mentioned, had to win on Jimmy Keller's RBI single in the bottom of the 8th inning. But this time in a tight game, the Mustangs will be the visiting team as they play this game on the road in Keensburg, dressed in their home whites of the Rebels. And the camo jerseys today for the Mustangs in their gray pants, coached by Josh Langford. Right now the head coaches are meeting with the umpires at home plate, discussing the ground rules. And they don't list the dimensions out here in Keensburg. I mean, I'm guessing it's probably about 350, 360 straight away, but no listed dimensions here at Weld Central High School. And you can still tell this is April baseball that the grass is not quite green. It's green in spots and yellowish in others. Once we get into late April, early May baseball, then we'll have nice green, grassy type of fields. All right, the Mustangs need this game tonight because, after all, after losing to Brush 7-5 last Thursday, a game that certainly surprised the Mustangs, they want to get back on track, play some good baseball here, eliminate the errors that plagued them and that loss to the Bee Diggers, and get things going in the right direction as they take on a pretty talented Weld Central team. And in this game, Weld Central does have Jimmy LaConte. He did not play. The senior star did not play in that first game against Fort Morgan. And not only is he playing in this game, but he will be the starting pitcher for Weld Central. All right, so momentarily, I believe we'll have the national anthem, then first pitch to follow here as Weld Central is taking the field. Well, that probably will signal that we'll get this game underway without the national anthem. All right, opening pitch is brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance, that is, looking to find insurance for your car, home, or even for you. Call Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance, locations in Brush and Fort Morgan. They can help you with your home, car, health, or life insurance questions or provide a quote. That is Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. All right, now let's get to the starting lineup here for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Against right-hander Jimmy LaConte. Fort Morgan had just 2 hits over the first 6 innings against the Bee Diggers in that 2-run loss. And they've got to get going here offensively. Oh, we'll get to the starting lineup here. I'm having a little bit of a technical difficulty with our lineup. All right. For the Mustangs, batting first is center fielder J.P. Hamer. The pitcher Jacob Ortega hits second. Batting third, the first baseman Trey McBride. Isaac Linker, the shortstop, bats fourth. Jimmy Keller, the left fielder, hits fifth. Right fielder Alex Ortega hits sixth. Third baseman Austin Apple hits seventh. Devin Mussman, the second baseman, hits eighth. And Connor Fajardo, the catcher, will be batting ninth. Isaac McWilliams at first. Gavin Johan at second. The third baseman is Mark Berry. Vince LaConte at short. Around the outfield, Dawson Lang in left, Andrew Younger in center, Hayes Edens in right, Cody Baumgartner behind the plate. And here's the right-hander, Jimmy LaConte, the pitch. And that's a fastball for a strike on the inside corner. No balls and one strike. Here to J.P. Hamer. He kicks and fires, and the breaking ball is down and away. That levels the count at 1-1. Hamer, Ortega, and McBride here in the first. And the offering. That is low. One with a fastball, 2 balls and 1 strike. Game number 10 for Weld Central, number 9 for Fort Morgan. Swung on and lifted, foul out of play off to the right. Count moves to 2-2. The Mustangs did hit the ball well in that 7th inning against Brush, but again, we're down by 6 going into that frame. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Hamer. Here's the wind and pitch, and the breaking ball is tapped slowly down the third baseline. Mark Berry fields backhands, throws to first low and late. J.P. Hamer beats it out with that blazing speed down the first baseline. And that'll send up Jacob Ortega. Ortega looking to get on track. He's had a difficult start offensively to his sophomore season, but this could be a big night for him. He's on the mound making his 2nd start of the year. And LaConte's got a good fastball that Ortega's probably welcoming. 1-step lead at first for Hamer. The stretch. And the offering. Swing and a miss. Throw a fastball right by him on the inside corner. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. Here to Ortega. The stretch. And the offering, runner going. That is on the outside corner. Throw to second and a hop, and in there is Hamer with a stolen base. And it's no balls and 2 strikes here to Jacob Ortega. With Trey McBride on deck. Yeah, we've seen LaConte feature a couple of pitches here. That fastball and that breaking ball. He'll get together with his catcher, Baumgartner. No balls and 2 strikes to the Mustang pitcher. LaConte delivers. Swung on in line towards right center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Hamer's around. He will score. And Ortega around first. He's into second. It's an RBI double here on the top of the first. And the Mustangs lead 1-0 in Keensburg. And that was on an 0-2 pitch. Here's the big, strong first baseman, Trey McBride. So 2 hits to begin the game against LaConte. That infield single by Hamer. And that double into the right center field gap by Ortega. McBride did not play in that game against Brush. He was not with the team that day. LaConte ready, the stretch. And the offering. Swung on and driven into deep right center field, way back towards the track. And it's a 2-run homer for Trey McBride on the first pitch he saw from LaConte. And the Mustangs lead 3-0 here in the opening frame. And that thing was tattooed into the right center field gap. McBride got all of it. And that'll send up Isaac Linker. Yeah, McBride knew it as soon as he swung. So the Mustangs off to a great start. They've already got more hits over the first 3 batters than they did over the first 6 innings against Brush when they had 2 hits. Linker, the cleanup hitter. And LaConte's got to figure out something. Here's the wind and pitch. Swung on. That one is drilled high and deep into left center field, way back towards the track. Is Younger. He makes the catch. But Linker gave it a ride. That's the first out of the inning. And Fort Morgan's making some solid contact here against the right-hander LaConte. 1 down for Jimmy Keller. We've had a single, a double, and a home run from Hamer, Ortega, and McBride, respectively. Here's the wind and the pitch to Keller. Swung on and fisted foul off to the right side. No balls and one strike. Alex Ortega waits to hit next. Baumgartner lays down the sign. And the 0-1. And that's in the dirt. Might have tried to take something off of that. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, LeConte's number 1 position is shortstop. He's an excellent shortstop for Weld Central and a senior. And the 1-1 offering. That's a fastball for a strike on the outer half, belt high. And the count moves to 1-2. Fort Morgan with the early 3-0 lead in the first. And here's the pitch. And the breaking ball is fouled off to the right and out of play. Count remains at 1-2 to the senior outfielder Jimmy Keller, who's done a very good job this year in relief, by the way. He's been Fort Morgan's best pitcher. The pitch swung on and fouled to the screen. Staying alive, it remains at 1-2 to Jimmy Keller. Here with 1 out in the top of the first. And Fort Morgan's already broken out to a 3-0 lead. Apparently looking for some baseballs here. A lot of balls put out of play. "15 pitches thrown from LeConte. He's got 12 strikes, but a lot of those strikes have been hit. And here's the offering. Swung on and fouled out of play off to the right, and Jimmy Keller has fouled off 4 pitches in the sequence. So it remains at 1-2. Keller digs in.
Let's go, Jimmy.
And the pitch. And the breaking ball's in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mustangs trying to work over this right-hander here in the top of the first. And the offering. Swung on and lifted to right field. That might drop Hayes Edens in on the play, and it's going to be a base hit. In fact, the ball was fielded on a hop by the first baseman McWilliams on that little Texas leaguer. Fort Morgan has 4 hits in the inning. And that'll bring up the number 5 hitter, or 6, I should say, Alex Ortega. 2 singles, a double, and a home run here in the top of the first for the Mustangs. Keller with some speed over there, 2.5-step lead. Here's the stretch and the offering. And that is a fastball for a strike on the outside corner. At the knees, it's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. And the pitch. Swung on and driven into deep left field. That one is way back towards the track. It takes 2 hops up against the bottom of the fence. Around second is Keller. He's to third base. He'll hold up right there. It's a 1-out double for Alex Ortega. The second double hit by an Ortega in this inning. And Fort Morgan has 2 runners in scoring position for Austin Apple. So Apple stepping in. With Fort Morgan up 3-0. They've got 5 hits in the opening frame. And there'll be a conversation on the hill. As LeConte has been hit hard here in the top of the first inning by the Mustangs. Again, we've seen a couple of doubles, 2 singles, and a 2-run homer from Trey McBride. So it's going to be a nice cushion for Jacob Ortega when he takes the mound in the bottom of the first inning. And it looks like Fort Morgan, let's see, yeah, Weld Central is going to play the infield in. So the Mustangs are going to have to fling this ball out into the outfield to score a run, or hit it somehow to the left or the right of an infielder, even if he fields it with some speed at third base, and Keller to drive in the fourth run. And LeConte, with 1 out and 2 in scoring position, will be pitching out of the stretch. Austin Apple, the right-handed hitter, awaits the pitch. That's a fastball upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, LeConte's had no trouble throwing strikes. Unfortunately for him, he's gotten too much of the plate. And the Mustangs have been all over these pitches. And the 1-0 swung on and lifted down the right side, foul and out of play, and the count goes to 1-1. First Mustang run of the game, that double from Ortega, brought to you by Cargill Meat Solutions, committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact and improving products and processes at Cargill.com. The 1-1 swung on, line caught by the second baseman Johan, and no play to second or third. He cannot double up a runner. That ball was hit extremely hard by Apple, but it results in an out. There's 2 down. Man, you cannot hit it any harder than that. And that'll bring up Devin Mussman. In fact, there's only been 1 ball the Mustangs have not hit hard, and that was a base hit by J.P. Hamer to begin the game. And for some reason, let's see if that's an equipment issue. They're out looking at Gavin Johan. And
barely passed agronomy.
Yeah, the coach is out there. One of the coaches out there, is he wearing some jewelry or something? I think he's okay, yeah. There's no injury. Okay, either way, let's resume play. Here with 2 down and 2 on. In the top of the first inning, Fort Morgan's in a 3-0 lead. RBI double from Jacob Ortega and a 2-run homer from Trey McBride. Out of the stretch. And the offering swung on and popped up into foul territory on the right side. First baseman McWilliams runs out of room. No balls and 1 strike. Here to Devin Mussman, the 8th place hitter in this Fort Morgan lineup. Off of third is Keller. Ortega at second, again out of the stretch with 2 down in the first. And the pitch, and that is a fastball for a strike at the knees on the inner half. It is 0-2 to Mussman. No balls and 2 strikes. Fajardo on deck to pitch, and the fastball's upstairs. Ball 1, strike 2. Laying down the sign is Baumgartner. And the pitch. Breaking ball is tapped down the third base side, foul. Well, they're working LeConte over. He's approaching 30 pitches, 3 shy of 30 pitches. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And we've had some odd interruptions in this top of the first. They were checking on the second baseman who we thought was hurt. Now some stoppage at the plate, but now we're back at it. 1-2 to Mussman. And the pitch swung on and driven foul and out of play. Again, off to the right. The Mustangs have hit a barrage of foul balls here in this first inning. So even though they haven't played in 6 days, they're not showing any rust. But what it clearly shows as well is that Fort Morgan is a fastball hitting team, because that sophomore Ben Garrett for Brush, who threw a ton of changeups, really had Fort Morgan off balance. The pitch and the breaking ball is a called strike 3 on the inside corner, and Mussman strikes out. However, the Mustangs score 3 runs on 5 hits. No errors and 2 men left. Let's head to the bottom of the first inning. Fort Morgan 3, and Weld Central is coming to bat on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. The Mustangs lead 3-0 here as we head to the bottom of the first inning. Here's a starting lineup for Weld Central. Batting first, the shortstop Vince LeConte. Dawson Lang, the left fielder, hits second. Jimmy LeConte, the pitcher, bats third. The cleanup hitter's the third baseman Mark Barry. Catcher Cody Baumgartner hits fifth. First baseman Isaac McWilliams hits sixth. Andrew Younger, the center fielder, bats seventh. Right fielder Hayes Edens in the eighth position. Gavin Johan, the second baseman, hits ninth. For the Mustangs defensively, Trey McBride at first, Devin Mussman at second. The third baseman is Austin Apple. Isaac Linker at short. Around the outfield, Jimmy Keller in left. The center fielder is J.P. Hamer. In right, Alex Ortega. Behind the plate is Connor Fajardo, and on the mound is Jacob Ortega. Alex Ortega in right, Jacob Ortega on the mound. And the sophomore delivers. And that is a changeup for a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. Ortega features 3 pitches, fastball, the changeup, and the breaking ball. And that breaking ball is in the dirt. Jacob already off to a good start with that RBI double in the top of the first inning. 1 ball and 1 strike here against Vince LeConte. Here's the wind and the pitch. And that is down and away with the off speed. 2-1.
Hey, let's go, Vince. You got it?
2 balls and 1 strike. And the pitch. Swung on, grounded to third. Nice diving play. And the throw to first is right there by Austin Apple to rob LeConte of a base hit. And there's 1 down. Boy, that's an excellent diving play to his left on that big hopper. That'll bring up Dawson Lang. As you can tell, we're right on top of the speaker. There's no player introduction, just walk-up music. The pitch to the left-handed hitting Lang is swung on, grounded at first, and has to go off the bag, then takes a huge hop for McBride. Ortega covering for the out. That's like a huge hop off the bag, but McBride adjusted along the line and threw to the pitcher covering. 2 down here in the first. That's a heck of a play by McBride that could have easily gone into right field. Here's the left-handed hitting Jimmy LeConte.
Hey, let's go, Jimmy!
With 2 down and the bases empty in the bottom of the first inning. Here's the wind and the pitch. And that fastball is inside. 1 ball and no strikes. 3-0 Fort Morgan. Jacob Ortega with a run-scoring double. Trey McBride with a 2-run homer. And the offering. And the breaking ball is low. It is 2-0. Mustangs will play on Saturday. Brian Nick will have that game for you at 1 o'clock against Conifer on B106. The pitch swung on and lifted on the left side. The shortstop, Isaac Linker, to his right, calls for it, makes the grab, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jacob Ortega. Let's head to the second in 1 minute with the score. Fort Morgan 3, Weld Central nothing on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. All right, let's head to the second inning where the Mustangs lead the Weld Central Rebels in Keensburg by a score of 3-0. It'll be the 9-1-2 hitters here for Fort Morgan. Connor Fajardo, J.P. Hamer, and Jacob Ortega against the right-hander Jimmy LeConte. Fort Morgan was able to muster 5 hits in the opening frame. Temperature now dropping into the upper 50s, expected to get around 50, maybe 48, 49 degrees by the end of the game. A light wind about 10 miles an hour. And the pitch swung on and chopped to third. Mark Berry on 2 hops, sets, throws low, and it is dug out nice by McWilliams. There's 1 down. 1 down here for J.P. Hamer, who had an infield single his first time up. Both teams are being very aggressive right now. Swinging early in the count. Here's the wind and pitch. Swung on and driven into the left center field gap, and coming on and diving and making the catch for the second out is Dawson Lang, and there's 2 down. That ball was tagged by Hamer, but he came in and went to his left and made the play. Well, 2 pitches, 2 outs. And here's Ortega. Had that run-scoring double. Wind and offering. That's a fastball right down the middle for a strike. It's 0-1. And LeConte, just off of those 2 plays, appears to have gotten into a groove. Remember, Fort Morgan had a chance to extend the lead and couldn't. Swung on. That is lifted into shallow center field. The shortstop, Vince LeConte, to his left, 2 steps into the grass, makes the catch. And it's a 4-pitch, 1-2-3 inning for Jimmy LeConte. To the bottom of the second we go. With the score, Fort Morgan 3, Weld Central nothing in Keensburg on B106 and B106.com. I'm John Beltran back in Keensburg. Mark Barry steps in to begin the bottom of the second. I won't even bother speaking when the walk-up music is going on. Line in the pitch, swung on and grounded as short on one big hop. Isaac Linker sets, throws, one out. I'm telling you, these teams are ultra aggressive here today. One down for Cody Baumgartner. Another right-handed hitter here for Weld Central. The wine and the offering. And that changeup is up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Fort Morgan with a 3-0 lead. All the runs scored in the first inning. A run-scoring double from Jacob Ortega. 2-run homer from McBride. That one's grounded to third on 2 hops. To his left is Austin Apple. He throws a laser to first for the out. And there's 2 down. Jacob Ortega has recorded 5 outs on just 11 pitches. Here's Isaac McWilliams, left-handed hitter, the first baseman, the pitch, and that is over but low. 1 ball and no strikes. McWilliams with an open stance awaits the 1-0. Swung on, grounded foul up the first base side. On the breaking ball from Ortega, the count levels at 1-1. The lights are on here in Keensburg. They've had lights for a limited time. And the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and fisted foul, out of play off to the left. 1-2. Proud to be Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan. Equitable Savings and Loan, Fort Morgan, Sterling, and Brush. And the 1-2 pitch, way outside, took something off, and the count levels at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Mustangs with a 3-run lead here in the bottom of the second. Laying down the sign is Fajardo, and the pitch swung on and lifted on the left side, but that's out of play. And it remains at 2-2. Tried to get him with that changeup.
Yes, his younger brother.
Ortega pitched well in his first start of the year. It resulted in a 5-4 loss to La Junta in the Hampton Inn Classic. And the 2-2. Swung on and grounded right side. This will be the second baseman throwing over to the pitcher covering Ortega. Nice play by Mussman as McBride was well off the bag. That'll be scored 4-1. And that does it. Another 1-2-3 inning for Jacob Ortega. Let's head to inning number 3. It's Fort Morgan 3, Weld Central nothing on B106 and B106.com. Trey McBride hit a majestic 2-run homer in the first inning. He'll lead off the second here.
Hey, let's go Rebels!
Against LeConte. McBride awaits the pitch, and that breaking ball's in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. And the offering, and that's a strike on the outside corner with a fastball. Count levels at 1-1. LeConte works quickly. And the offering, and that's swung on and fouled off to the right. Count moves to 1-2 here against Trey McBride. One ball, 2 strikes to the opening hitter of the third inning, Trey McBride. Fort Morgan 3, Weld Central nothing. And the pitch is swung on and missed in the dirt. Baumgartner is going to have to pick it up and throw to first. It's going to be offline, and McBride will be safe. So McBride is in there. It's still a strikeout. But the Mustangs have the leadoff man on base.
I don't really care.
And that'll bring up Isaac Linker.
I want your brother to hit a home run.
Some bad luck there for Jimmy LeConte. Linker hit a drive that was caught in center field his first time up. Throw back to first, McBride in diving. Here's the stretch and the offering. Swung on and lifted on the right side into foul territory, but it's foul. Again, Fort Morgan has hit a lot of foul balls in this game. They're in double digits already, and we're just in the third. LeConte's thrown 38 pitches and 31 of those for strikes, so he's definitely going right after these Mustangs. And he's settled down after a rough first inning. The sun is still out, by the way, even though the lights are on. No balls and one strike. And the pitch. Swung on and grounded to short. LeConte comes in, could be two. Flips to second for one. Hayes Edens to first, and that is a double play. That's a double play. Johan was able to make the back end of that double play. It's a 6-4-3, and there's two down here in the third. So two down for Jimmy Keller, who singled and was stranded at third his first time up. Keller went the other way for his base hit. Out of the stretch and a pitch, and that breaking ball bounces in. 1 ball and no strikes, and I think the catcher Baumgartner was crossed up there. And after throwing nearly 30 pitches in the opening inning, LeConte has recorded 5 outs in just 12 pitches. And looking to put away Jimmy Keller, but Jimmy ahead in the count at 1-0. Here's the wind and the pitch, way outside. That's one of the few times that LeConte's thrown back-to-back balls. 2 balls and no strikes. 3-0 Fort Morgan, top 3. And the pitch, and that bounces in. Now, baseball's a funny game, man. You get into such a rhythm, and then all of a sudden you lose it to one hitter. 3-0, and that is a strike at the knees. Keller was starting to run down the line, but it just got the bottom of the zone, and it's 3-1. Wind and offering. That is on the... Nope, it's just outside. And it's a walk. Yeah, I wasn't sure exactly what was going to happen right there because it looked like he was going to ring him up a strike. So here's Alex Ortega. Ortega doubled his first time up. Now let's see if the runner Keller takes off from first. The pitch swung on. That's driven deep into center field, but right there with a beat on it is Andrew Younger, and he makes the catch. And Fort Morgan is done in the third inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left at first base. Let's head to the bottom of the third. The score, Fort Morgan 3, Weld Central nothing. This is Mustang Baseball on B106 and B106.com. Jacob Ortega has retired. As I was starting to say, Jacob Ortega has retired all 6 hitters he's faced as we head to the bottom of the third. And the pitch to the left-handed hitting Andrew Younger is up and away with a changeup. 1 ball and no strikes. 7, 8, and 9 here for Weld Central. The pitch way outside again. Didn't follow through on that one. 2-0. Might come in with a fastball here just to get back into the count. The offering. And that is right down the middle for a strike. Just above the knees, it's 2-1 here to Andrew Younger. 3-0 Fort Morgan in the bottom of the third. The wind and offering. Swung on and fouled to the screen. Count moves to 2-2. Mustangs are going for their 6th win of the season in this Colorado 7 league opener. Weld Central already has 6 wins against 3 losses. Well, this sun is out in full force. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He blew it by Younger on the outside corner. There's 1 down. First strikeout for Ortega. Here is Hayes Edens, the right-handed hitting right fielder.
I love how they give us orders even though we're
Here's the wine and offering, and that is over but low. 1 ball and no strikes.
like over here. It's fine, right?
What's on the wood?
Ortega ready, works quickly. A very simple delivery. Swing and a miss. He pulled the string on that one. And the count is leveled at 1 ball and 1 strike. Holding the glove down low in the pitch. Swing and a miss and a sharp breaking ball. It's 1-2 to Hayes Edens. Ortega ready, laying down the sign is Fajardo. And the pitch, and the breaking ball is down and away. Count moves to 2-2 on only the 26th pitch thrown by Ortega. He needed just 22 to record his first 7 outs. The pitch swung on and popped foul, out of play.
We have a shelter.
Count remains at 2-2 here to Hayes Edens, the Weld Central right fielder. And Ortega delivers. Swung on and missed a breaking ball in the dirt. Fajardo picks it up, fires to first to record the out. Strikeout number 2, both in this inning. And there's 2 down. 2 down for the 9th place hitter, Gavin Johan. And Ortega's looking very sharp. His strike-to-ball ratio is not great, but, sometimes that's a good sign. You don't want to throw too many strikes because then you become predictable. Wind in the pitch, and that's outside. 1 ball to Johan. Ortega works quickly. Swung on and fouled off the end of the bat, and now to play off to the right. That evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Fort Morgan with a 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the 3rd. Ortega looks for the sign, gets it, delivers. Fastball is high. Ball 2, strike 1 with 2 outs and the base is empty here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Johan digs back in. Wind in the pitch. Swung on and fouled straight back. Went with the off-speed again. It's 2-2. Vince LeConte waits to hit next. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Can Ortega record a strikeout again? Down and away. Went with a breaking ball. Wanted to see if Johan would go fishing, but laid off of that and didn't take the bait. It's now at 3-2. And Ortega delivers. Swung on and popped foul, out of play behind the screen here. Also known as the backstop, it remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. That's the one thing we notice in this game, a barrage of foul balls hit. It'll be another 3-2 pitch. Here to Johan, here it is. Swung on and fouled back again. And now we've officially run out of baseballs until we get more coming in. So it'll stay at 3-2. Here to the second baseman for Weld Central. Forcing Ortega to throw another strike to extend the inning. And the pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right. Out of play again on a breaking ball. Boys, a very good at bat here by Gavin Johan. And in fact, this will be the 9th pitch of the plate appearance. Let's see if this is indeed a payoff pitch from Ortega. Here it is. Swing and a miss, pulling the string. Jacob Ortega strikes out the side in order as we head to the 4th inning. Fort Morgan 3, Weld Central nothing on B106 and B106.com. It'll be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters, Austin Apple, Devin Musman, and Connor Fajardo for the Mustangs here in the 4th inning, leading Weld Central and Keensburg 3-0. The pitch swung on and popped foul, out of play. How many times have I said that? No balls and 1 strike. We need about 75 baseballs before this game began. I think we've had at least 20 foul balls that have been well out of play. Wine in the offering, and the breaking ball's over for a strike at the knees. Apple lined to second his first time up, hit a laser that was caught by Johan. And the pitch. And that is a fastball called strike 3 on the outside corner. And there's one down. That'll bring up Devin Mussman. He struck out looking in his first plate appearance. Let's see for LeConte, who picks up the strikeout. The pitch swung on and fisted foul. That's strikeout number 3 for Jimmy LeConte. No balls and 1 strike to Devin Mussman. Here's the wind and pitch, and the breaking ball's into dirt, and the count levels at 1-1. Here to the Mustang Jr. And the pitch swung on and chopped to third. Mark Berry on a big hop throws to first, and there's 2 down here in the 4th inning as Devin Mussman is retired. That'll bring up Connor Fajardo. He grounded to third his first time up. I mean, this is the way baseball should be moving along. Very quick 3.5 innings so far. The good news, the Mustangs have a 3-0 lead on Jacob Ortega's RBI double in the first, followed by Trey McBride's 2-run homer. Wine and offering. And the curveball is on the inside corner for a strike belt high. It's 0-1. And LeConte right now is dealing. He digs in. Wine and pitch. That is low. You know, the only Mustang to read since the first was Jimmy Keller. 1-1. And the pitch. That is over but low with the off speed. 2 balls and 1 strike. When you're shopping for new appliances, shop the best appliance store in Fort Morgan. That is B&B Appliance. With a full and complete line of Whirlpool appliances, they're outstanding at B&B Appliance. Breaking ball in the dirt. 3 balls and 1 strike, and now summoning in new baseballs. Looks like Jimmy Keller might be warming up down the right field bullpen. Oh, we know that Ortega's thrown a perfect game so far. 9 hitters and all have been retired. So this might just be precautionary. Certainly nothing wrong with Ortega. You don't never see activity this early. And the offering. And that is low. And it's a walk to Connor Fajardo with 2 down here in the 4th. That'll set up J.P. Hamer. Singled and lined out. And he scored a run. And Dylan Woods will now run here for Fajardo at first base. All right, so here comes Hamer for his 3rd plate appearance. With 2 down in the 4th inning. And Fort Morgan holding a 3-0 lead. Boy, if you can hit it to left field, that sun is starting to descend, known as setting. That's right in the eyes of Dawson Lang. The stretch and the pitch way outside with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. You got some meat behind Hamer and Ortega and McBride, and of course Linker. Off of first is Woods, about a 2-step advantage. LeConte comes home, swung on, that is lifted into center field. Andrew Younger to his left, now comes in, makes the 2-handed grab. And Fort Morgan is retired here in the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the 4th after the break. Fort Morgan 3, Weld Central nothing on B106 and B106.com. It'll be the top of the order here for Weld Central as Fort Morgan leads 3-0 going into the bottom of the 4th inning. Vince LeConte, Dawson Lang, and Jimmy LeConte against right-hander Jacob Ortega, who quite frankly has gotten stronger throughout the course of the game. He struck out the side in order in the 3rd after not registering a strikeout in the first 2 innings. Wine and pitch, and the breaking ball is down and away. LeConte grounded to third his first time up. So he, along with the rest of the Rebels, are 0 for 1. Ortega gets the sign and the offering, and he bounces that one in as well. Same pitch, same result. 2 balls and no strikes. Yeah, you don't want to pitch a hitter the same exact way the second time around as you did the first time, but you want to get a strike over, and now Ortega's in a 2-0 hole in the offering, and that is outside. It's 3-0. 1 pitch away from issuing his first base runner. 3-0 to Vince LeConte. Let's see if he grooves him a fastball and the pitch. Well, he bounced that one and short-armed it. And Weld Central has their first base runner of the game. Dawson Lang grounded out to first his first time up. The stretch and the pitch. That's up and away with a changeup. 1 ball and no strikes. The Mustangs are a double play depth, leading 3-0 in the bottom of the 4th inning. On a run-scoring double from Jacob Ortega and a 2-run homer from Trey McBride. And the pitch swung on and popped up into foul territory. The catcher Fajardo to his right makes the grab, and there's 1 down. In foul territory, Fajardo puts it away. 1 down for Jimmy LeConte. LeConte popped to short his first time up. He's a big threat here. He defeated Brush 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, with a big triple. A 3-2 win. Change up a little bit low. 1 ball and no strikes. That barely missed below the knees. Off of first is Vince LeConte. At the plate is Jimmy LeConte. And the pitch swung on and driven deep into left center field, way back to his right. And now Hamer makes a beat on it and makes the catch. Boy, Hamer got a great jump. That ball was twisting away from him. But Hamer made the play. Here's Mark Berry, who grounded to short his first time up. Now Linker cheating a little bit towards the hole, the pitch. And that is on the outside corner for a strike with the off-speed. No balls and 1 strike. The only base runner issued by Ortega has been in this inning on a walk. Throw back to first, back in standing, is Vince LeConte. No balls and 1 strike. AC Ice proudly supports local high school sports. That's AC Ice. The breaking ball is just outside. You can find AC Ice at any local grocery or convenience store near you. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, 2 down. Bottom 4. The Mustangs lead the Rebels of Weld Central 3-0 in Keensburg. Throw back to first again, back in standing again is LeConte. You can download the iScore Central app and find this game on the iScore Central app. Swung on and foul tipped into the glove of Fajardo on the breaking ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ortega looks in. Very short lead at first. The pitch swung on and hit in the air to left field, going way back is Keller. He's got room, though. He is shy of the track and makes the catch. And Weld Central is retired in the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. To the 5th we go. Fort Morgan 3, Weld Central nothing. On B106 and B106.com. Let's head to the 5th inning. Mustangs lead 3-0 over the Rebels of Weld Central. And for Fort Morgan, Jacob Ortega, Trey McBride, and Isaac Linker against right-hander Jimmy LeConte, who's done a very nice job after the first inning. But he is being overmatched here by Ortega, who has been outstanding through 4 innings, retiring 12 of 13 hitters. Ortega doubled, driving in a run and popped out, and the breaking ball is up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Mustangs looking to generate a rally here in the 5th inning. And the offering. That's a fastball inside corner. Strike 1, belt high. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jacob Ortega. Here's the wind and pitch. Swing and a miss. Blew a fastball right by the sophomore. On the inner half, it's 1-2. Laying down the sign is Baumgartner. And the pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right. A protective swing there, a defensive swing by Ortega. It remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch. Breaking ball is in the dirt. Nice take. 2-2. Neither team has scored since after the top of the first when the Mustangs garnered all 3 runs. And the pitch. Breaking ball is chopped down the third baseline, foul. Remains at 2-2. If you can get to the bullpen here against Weld Central, then you could provide a little bit more damage offensively, but LeConte has been nails since after the first inning. 2 balls and 2 strikes. In fact, Fort Morgan does not have a hit since the first inning. Wind and pitch, and that is a fastball down and in. Man, he almost got the call. 3-2. And a pitch swung on and grounded as short. Ranging in is LeConte. Then the ball plays off his glove into left center field. And Ortega reaches. I'm not sure they would have thrown him out there. I'm actually going to score that infield single. I mean, he had lots of speed, and LeConte was raging in. That would have been charging at the ball. That would have been a very tough play. That'll bring up McBride. I mean, conventionally you would score that in air, but I'm not sure that play would have been made. Ortega really got it out of the box quickly. So the Mustangs now mounting a threat. The stretch and the offering, and that fastball is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Hard to sneak a fastball by McBride. His homer went over the right center field fence in the first inning. Fort Morgan with a 3-0 advantage in the 5th. And the pitch swung on, hit high into left field and way back. Dawson Lang to the track, and that one is gone! It's another home run for McBride. Another 2-run shot for the Mustang senior, and Fort Morgan leads 5-0 in the 5th inning. Trey McBride has done it again, as he's greeted at home plate by his teammates. And again on a home run, he plates Jacob Ortega. Here's Isaac Linker. Yeah, he's gotten a hold of 2 of them here. One to right center, the other one to left field. Linker popped out and grounded out. He's 0 for 2. So now Fort Morgan's got some breathing room with a 5-0 lead here in the 5th. Line and pitch, and the breaking ball is taken for a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. Here's the wine and offering. Swung on and lifted to right center field. To his right is Edens. Now he comes in. Now he dives, and he makes the catch. He misjudged that ball badly, but he still was able to come up with a catch, and there's 1 down. A 1 down here for Jimmy Keller. Keller singled and walked. So he is 1 for 1. Yeah, apparently there was no out signaled over there, but it looked from this vantage point that Edens did make that catch, and he obviously did. Linker's back in the dugout. The pitch and the breaking ball bounces to the screen. 1 ball and no strikes here to the number 5 hitter for Fort Morgan. The Mustangs now lead 5-0 on another 2-run homer here from Trey McBride. He had one in the first inning as well against his starter. And Jimmy Keller awaits down and away. 2-0. Two balls and no strikes. And that pitch is down and away. Premier Farm Credit has been proudly supporting agriculture in rural communities for over 100 years, and their cash patronage dividend program sets them apart. 3-0 pitch. That's down and away. Jimmy Keller walks again. He's been on base all 3 times as the senior left fielder. And with one down, here's Alex Ortega, who doubled and lined out. And if Fort Morgan really gets something going, they might be able to make this a shorter game than 7 innings. But they need at least 5 more runs. Acante looks back, and the pitch. That's down and away with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. Here to Ortega. On deck, it's Austin Apple. Short lead for Keller. Now he goes. Swung on, line down the left field line for a base hit. Keller around second, headed for third. There will not be a play. Now around first, headed for second is Ortega. The throw, the slide, and he's safe. Well, we're going to call that a single because it didn't look like Ortega was getting to second unless the throw was made to third to try to nail Keller, but Jimmy had it easily over there.
No, absolutely not. Put the bat down.
And now here's Austin Apple, who lined to second in the first and struck out looking. And now we'll have a visit to the hill with Fort Morgan up 5-0 in the 5th inning. They've got an infield single, a home run, and that single in this inning. Groceries, fresh cut meat, deli items, floral pharmacy, Western Union, public service payments, 24-hour gas. That's Brush Grocery Cart, your one-stop shop, 1302 West Edison Street. That is in Brush. Brush Grocery Cart. All right, the conversation breaks up, and the Mustangs with 2 on and 1 down here in the 5th inning are threatening for more, with Apple stepping in. With Keller at third, Alex Ortega at second. Yeah, the infield's going to have to play in. They cannot afford, Weld Central cannot afford for Fort Morgan to score another run because they've been unable to solve Mustang starter Jacob Ortega. Here's Apple, the stretch, and the pitch. Fastball is up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. This rally started with a 4-pitch walk. Well, after the Mustangs got the 2-run homer from McBride, their second rally of the inning started with a 4-pitch walk to Keller. The stretch and the offering, and that's in the dirt, and blocked nicely there by Baumgartner. 2-0. Devin Mussman waits to hit next. 2 balls and no strikes. The stretch and the pitch. Swung on and chopped to second. Second baseman Johan goes to the plate. The slide and safe is Keller. That'll be a fielder's choice. Keller got a great jump and was able to score ahead of the throw from Johan. Fielder's choice is an RBI, and Fort Morgan now leads 6-0. And no advance by Ortega. He did not go to third. He had to hold up to make sure that Keller actually took off for the plate. Boy, that is great base running there by Jimmy Keller. Here's Devin Mussman, struck out and grounded out. He's 0 for 2. Fort Morgan plated 3 in the first. They've got 3 so far here in the 5th. The stretch and the pitch. Fastball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Here to Mussman. And the offering. And that is bounced in there. Nice backhanded play by Baumgartner. 2-0. Two balls and no strikes. Mussman digs back in. And the pitch swung on and driven in the air to center field. coming in is Younger. To his left, makes the grab. No tag for either runner. Mussman is retired on that 2-0 pitch. There's 2 down. He saw something fat, but he got underneath it. And here's Connor Fajardo, who grounded a third and walked. He's 0 for 1. And because of the rally Fort Morgan has put together in this inning, LeConte's thrown 82 pitches in the game. He was pretty economical after a 28-pitch first. But now that 28 has been reversed. The stretch and the pitch. Fastball is high. 1 ball and no strikes to the Mustang catcher. At second is Alex Ortega. Austin Apple at first. And the offering way outside. J.P. Hamer's got home run power. He will hit next. 2 balls and no strikes to Fajardo. The stretch and the offering. Swung on. That is popped foul and out of play. We haven't said that in a while. Count is at 2-1. With 2 down, 2 on, and 3 across in the 5th. Laying down the sign is Baumgartner. The stretch and the pitch. Swung on and lined and over the third baseman's glove into left field. Mark Berry could not get it. Rounding third is Ortega. No throw to the plate. It's an RBI single right off the fist of Connor Fajardo's bat. And the Mustangs now lead 7-0 with 4 runs in this 5th inning. And Dylan Woods will run it first. Man, talk about a ball that was barely fisted. But it was fisted fair. And now here's J.P. Hamer, who singled, lined out, and popped to center. He's 1 for 3. So the Mustangs now have some breathing room in this game. They were up 3-0 for a good portion of it. The stretch by LeConte, the pitch. Fastball is up and away. He might have 1 more inning left in him. That's it. Well, definitely when you look at the pitch count, he's got no more than 1 after this. The stretch and the 1-0, and he bounces that, and he's clearly getting tired. Now 2 balls and no strikes. Mustangs survived and had to rally, in fact, to beat Weld Central the first time in the hunt to 8 to 7 and 8 innings, but they're controlling this game. The pitch, that is high. 3-0. The scoreboard says 6-0. Should be 7-0. 7-0 is the score here. And the pitch. That's way outside. It's a 4-pitch walk. Yeah, I'm not sure who's got control of the scoreboard, but it is. 7-0 should be the score. Here's Ortega with the bases loaded. And now let's see if we might have a pitching change. Yep, we will have a pitching change, so let's take it with them. We'll take a 90-second break, back in a minute and a half with the score in the top of the 5th inning. Fort Morgan 7, Weld Central nothing on B106 and B106.com. The new pitcher is Mark Berry. Jimmy LeConte goes to short. Vince LeConte now at third. Bases are loaded here in the 5th inning. The Mustangs up 7-0. They've scored 4 runs in this frame. Trey McBride had a 2-run homer, his second 2-run homer of the game. And he's not even close to his career high in RBIs for a game. He had 8 against Skyview last year. That was in a big 13-3 win. Here's Jacob Ortega, who's doubled, driving in a run, popped out, and began this rally with an infield hit. He's 2 for 3. And the right-hander, Mark Berry,
Hey, let's go, Mark! You got it!
will deliver here to Jacob Ortega out of the stretch with the bases loaded. And the pitch, and that's down and away with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. Boy, McBride can get another shot in this inning. You know he's going to go for another home run. And the offering. That's grooved in, but a little bit high. It's 2-0. 2-0 to Jacob Ortega. Let's see if he's taking here. Up 7-0 the pitch. That bounces in 3-0. And now, boy, nearly getting too far off of third as the ball gets loose in the infield after Baumgartner got rid of it. Was Apple at third, but he decided against his better judgment to go back to third base. Now it's 3 balls and no strikes. Tough situation for Barry to be in here. The stretch and the offering. And he grooves that in for a strike. And it's 3-1. 3-1 here to Jacob Ortega. He needs to see a beach ball. If not, he's not swinging. The stretch and the pitch, and that's upstairs. It's a walk. Apple will score. It's an RBI for Ortega, and Fort Morgan now leads 8-0. And here comes McBride. And we know what McBride is thinking now. Let's see if Trey can get a hold of another one. The senior awaits the pitch, and here it is, and it's upstairs 1-0.
If I can catch it, I just give him that look, and I'm like...
1 ball and no strikes to Trey McBride. 8-0 Fort Morgan. And the offering. Oh, he takes a changeup for a strike.
So if I can catch it, does it?
Levels the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Here in the 5th inning, the stretch.
I'm going to go get it, and I'm going to wrap it around my toes.
And the pitch. And that's up and in.
I am so sorry.
2 balls and 1 strike here to McBride. Trey hit a grand slam last year against the Skyview Wolverines. And the 2-1. And he swings and sends it foul down the third base side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here to McBride. In the top of the 5th inning, Fort Morgan leads 8-0. And the bases are loaded. As Trey gets ready to dig back in. Mark Berry stretches. And the pitch. Swung on and driven deep to left field, going way back towards the track, and that one is off the fence. It is off the fence. 2 runs will score. Here comes a run around third and Ortega. The throw towards the plate, the slide. He's in there. McBride to third, the slide, and he's in there. It's a 3-run double for Trey McBride. He has driven in 7, and the Mustangs now lead by a score of 11-0. Oh, McBride got the pitch he wanted. And now the Mustangs are 3 outs away from winning this game with an 11-0 lead, and McBride has done it again, and he nearly hit his 3rd home run. But it didn't have enough trajectory on it. And that'll send up Isaac Linker. So McBride clears the bases with that 3-run double. And now Linker's 0 for 3, the pitch. And that is a strike on the outside corner with a fastball. And now what this means is that Jacob Ortega, if he takes the mound in the bottom of the 5th inning, will be going for a 5-inning no-hitter. The stretch and the pitch. That's way outside. So we still have more drama to unfold in this game. Ball gets loose in the infield, but backed up by the second baseman, Johan. The Mustangs have scored 8 runs here in the 5th inning. They did not have a single hit in innings 2, 3, and 4. There are 2 down. The pitch swung on and chopped slowly. Second baseman, Johan, to his right. Fields sidearms to first, and that does it for Fort Morgan in the top of the 5th inning. But the Mustangs explode in a big way. Trey McBride has 5 RBIs in the inning. And in the inning, for Fort Morgan. They score 8 runs on 5 hits, no errors, and a man left. Let's go to the bottom of the 5th inning with the score. Fort Morgan 11, Weld Central nothing on B106 and B106.com. Jacob Ortega is 3 outs away from a 5-inning no-hitter. And Cody Baumgartner steps in, and the pitch is a breaking ball for a strike on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. That's 50 pitches thrown by Ortega. And he's allowed just 1 base runner. That was a 4th-inning walk. Baumgartner at 0 for 1. Here's the wide in the offering, and that curveball is outside, leveling the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. I'm not sure the last time the Mustangs had a no-hitter, but it could happen right here in a 5-inning game. The right-handed hitting Baumgartner, the Weld Central catcher, awaits the pitch, and that changeup is high. 2 balls and 1 strike. With Fort Morgan leading 11-0 here in the 5th inning, scoring 8 runs in the top of the 5th. And the pitch, the line foul off to the right. Count now sitting at 2-2. Baumgartner, McWilliams, and Younger here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Fajardo lays down the sign. We've seen 3 good pitches today from Ortega. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And a strikeout of Baumgartner to begin the 5th inning. And there's 1 down. Ortega's best inning was the 3rd when he struck out the side in order. That'll bring up Isaac McWilliams. And the offering. And he bounces that one in. For Ortega, he has now struck out 4, so that's his first strikeout since the 3rd. McWilliams grounded to second. That was that 4-1 play to end the inning when Ortega was covering first. Here's the one in the 1-0. Swung on and lifted into shallow right center field. To his right as Alex Ortega now comes in, makes the 2-handed grab, and there's 2 down. And Jacob Ortega is 1 out away from a no-hitter. Here is Andrew Younger. Younger struck out his first time up. Ortega looking for the 5-inning no-hitter. Here's the wind and pitch. Swing and a miss. No balls and 1 strike. Took something off it and located that perfectly on the outer edge. Ortega gets the sign and the offering. That is a fastball for a strike. Again on the outer half.
Let's go, Andrew!
0-2. Here to Andrew Younger, the pitch, and he bounces that one in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jacob Ortega is 1 pitch away from the no-hitter here in Keansburg under the lights. Here's the wind and the 1-2. Swung on, chopped slowly on the right side. The shortstop Linker charges. Fields throws to first for the out. And it is a no-hitter for Jacob Ortega. A 5-inning no-hitter. He's being bombarded right up the first base line. And the Fort Morgan Mustangs have defeated the Weld Central Rebels in Keansburg 11-0. Let us take a 2-minute break. We'll wrap it up after this on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. The Mustang post-game show is brought to you by Morgan Community College. Find out why Morgan Community College is the best choice for your higher education. Visit MCC online at morgancc.edu or stop by the campus for a personal advising session. MCC, here to help you imagine, believe, and achieve your goals. Morgan Community College. Fort Morgan Mustangs get a no-hitter from Jacob Ortega. They beat the Weld Central Rebels 11-0. 11 runs, 10 hits, no errors, 5 left on base for the Mustangs. Straight zeros across the board for Weld Central. They left a man on base, the winning pitcher Ortega, striking out 4 over 5 innings. And the loss went to Jimmy LaConte. Time of the game, 1 hour and 21 minutes. And the Mustangs wasted no time, as in the opening inning, they got an RBI double from Ortega, then a 2-run homer from Trey McBride for a 3-0 lead. It stayed that way until the 5th inning when Trey McBride hit his second 2-run homer of the game, giving Fort Morgan a 5-0 lead. Austin Apple would reach in a fielder's choice, making it 6-0 as Jimmy Keller slid in safely. Then Connor Fajardo had an RBI single, scoring Alex Ortega, making it 7-0. And then Jacob Ortega was walked with the bases loaded. Then Trey McBride would clear the bases with a double, and that would conclude the scoring, as with 2 down in the bottom of the 5th inning, Andrew Younger would ground out to the shortstop Isaac Linker, who made the play and preserved the no-hitter as the Mustangs won their Colorado 7 league opener. They are 6-3 overall. Weld Central falls to 0-1 in league play, 6-4 on the year. Mustang Player of the Game is brought to you by Transwest Chevrolet Buick, serving Northeast Colorado and located in Fort Morgan and Sterling. They have a great selection of new and used vehicles. Stop by and take a test drive at Transwest Chevrolet Buick. Well, you got to give it to both Jacob Ortega and Trey McBride. McBride drove in 7 runs in the game, 1 shy of his career high when he had 8 last year against Skyview. And, of course, Jacob Ortega, who had a couple of hits, and he was able to drive in 2 runs and also pitch a 5-inning no-hitter, nearly a perfect game, as he walked 1 hitter in the 4th inning, and that was it. Mustangs are back in action coming up Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock, weather permitting. Doesn't look good on Friday, but it should be good on Saturday when they face the Conifer Lobos, and we'll have that game. Brian Nickel will have it for you right here on B106. Outstanding job by our sound engineer and producer, Isaac Greenwood. I'm John Beltran with a final score on a Jacob Ortega 5-inning no-hitter. Fort Morgan 11, Weld Central nothing on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com.